Joining me now is Tom Cotton, Arkansas Senator, member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, also author of the new book, Only the Strong. Senator, I think it's fair to say that places like D.C., California, I mean, this seriously kind of informs where the overall Democrat direction is right now vis-a-vis criminals.
Yeah, Laura, this is amazing coming from the D.C. City Council, putting left-wing ideology ahead of the safety of the residents of our nation's capital. We're not talking about reducing sentences for people who are arrested with a dime bag of marijuana. We're talking about things like carjacking. In a city that's had a wave of carjackings, in a city where a professional football player, a Washington Redskin, was carjacked and shot just a few months ago. This reflects the Democrats' soft on crime, left-wing ideology. This is a major issue in the Georgia Senate race. This is why Georgians should get out and vote for Herschel Walker. And it's also something that Congress will take a look at. If the mayor of Washington, D.C. goes forward with this resolution or with this bill, then I will introduce a resolution of disapproval in Congress to stop it from happening, because the people of Washington deserve better and Americans deserve better. Our nation's capital belongs to the American people, not to left-wing politicians here.
Now, Senator, I want to switch gears here because the Daily Caller is reporting tonight that House Republicans have introduced legislation to audit funds appropriated by Congress from the American people to Ukraine. Now, do you think this is something Republicans in the Senate will support? I know I support it because I think we should know how our money is being spent, where it's being spent, and if, in fact, it's being used in the appropriate manner wherever it's sent.
Yeah, Laura, I agree with you in all those principles. I haven't seen the exact legislation, but I think the American people deserve that kind of accountability whenever their tax dollars are spent. I'd also like to add that while there are some things that only the United States and our military and our defense industry can provide to Ukraine, the European partners we have can provide money to Ukraine, whether it's France or Germany or the European Union. The Biden administration needs to do a better job of stepping forward.
Senator, they're not. I mean, I know we'd like that, but I'd like a lot of things. But Germany's not ponying up. France is really not ponying up. We're certainly not seeing the money coming from Italy. This is all on the backs of the American taxpayer. And I know there's like a split in the Republican Party on this, with the people who think we should be all in Ukraine and the people who think we have to take a sober look at this. But at some point, is Europe going to ever carry the burden for Europe, or is it always going to be us?
No,
they're not a member of NATO, as we know.
Laura, they need to, and the Biden administration needs to use more pressure and leverage to compel them to. Again, there are certain weapon systems that only America can provide, but European nations and the European Union can provide more funds to support Ukraine. It shouldn't be only on the backs of the American taxpayer.
Well, right now, Senator, there is an enormous amount of angst in the Republican Party about what's next, what's going to happen in 2024. And on this issue of accountability, listen to this shocking revelation. After 1,600 auditors combed through the DOD's $3.5 trillion in assets and $3.7 trillion in liabilities, officials found that the department couldn't account, this is the Pentagon, couldn't account for about 61% of its assets. So, I mean, I know, again, Republicans, the Pentagon can do no wrong. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's what a lot of Republicans seem to think. They can't account for 61% of their assets. Are you going to, lead the charge on this from the Senate? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, so Laura, the reason we finally know this is that during the Trump era, the Trump administration and Congress insisted that the Department of Defense finally go through with these kind of audits, and we ought not wait till 2024 in a new presidential election. We should start right now, build upon this audit, make sure the DOD is getting good value for our taxpayers. I mean, right now you have almost as many civilians in the Department of Defense as you have troops. We also need to make sure the focus is where it should be, which is making sure that our troops have the best equipment and training to defend our nation, not that our drill sergeants are using the right pronouns. So there's a lot of room for oversight in the new Congress of the Department of Defense.
Senator Cotton, great to see you, as always, for joining us and answering all of our questions. Thank you so much.